a quick story about trans. I mean, one of the interesting phenomena about trans is the fact that there was a huge spike in trans identification among young people in the early 2020s. I'll show you. I'm going to show you a graph. Yeah, there's a graph, right? You can see that in 2016, the number of young students self-identifying as neither male nor female was 2%. It actually went down by 2019 to, I don't know, a negligible amount. It's hard to tell exactly what that amount is. And then it started creeping up. But starting with COVID, starting with 2020, it spiked. And it got to the point where about 9% of all students refused to identify as male or female by 2023. What's amazing is immediately since then, 2024, now 2025, that number has plummeted, has gone down dramatically, right? These are, by the way, three different surveys, right? They all show basically the same thing. The one from Andover is the one with the most data, right? But you can see the fire data, you can see the brown data, you can see they're all basically the same story. And what this shows is that to some extent, the phenomena of trans in the early 2020s was a social phenomenon. It was people identifying as trans because it was the cool thing to do. It was the socially beneficial thing to do. Being simply a male or female was somewhat looked down on within leftist circles, within university circles. Non-conforming sexual identity, also is in decline. If you look here at this graph, right? So these things are, at least to some extent, driven by fad, by fashion, by what's cool. Now, why the change in 2023? I mean, to a large extent, kind of woke ideology more broadly peaked in 2023 in many respects. But if you actually ask people about their ideology, they're not fewer leftists right now than they were in 2023. The far left is just as big today as it was in 2023 among students. It's just that the hot topic has shifted. What happened in 2023? Well, I think what happened in 2023 is Gaza. What happened in 2023 is they adopted a different agenda. It wasn't cutting edge anymore to be trans. What was cutting edge now was to be pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas. Rather than appear and self-identify as trans, you went out and waved a Palestinian flag and yelled from the river to the sea, even though you didn't know which river and which sea, and participated in sit-ins over Gaza and the Palestinians, and you hated on Jews and Israelis in particular, and that became the sexy, hot thing. I mean, the thing about the ideology on the left, the whole postmodern ideology that they hold, is how malleable it is to whatever group you think at any particular time is the one that is suffering, is the one that needs your moral support. It shifted from trans to Palestinian. At least that's my interpretation. I have no idea if that is backed up by the data. Okay, let's look. That is so that's good news. I mean, I think the trans issue is always going to be around. There are trans, and they're around. But as becoming a big political, big issue that everybody on campus, and I know a lot of parents have had to deal with this, their kids suddenly identifying as trans, and it being kind of a thing that is all over schools and all over the universities and just super popular. That is probably a fad. And one of the interesting things is going to be what happens if there is some kind of deal in Gaza, and if Israel doesn't get dragged into a war there. What does the left go for next? What is the next faddy thing? Now, you would think that the thing would be illegal immigrants. For some reason, I don't think that that's sexy enough for them.